Hey, what's up, guys? Bender here. I'm going to be doing a detailed analysis on Spider-Man's new costume, as shown in the Captain America Civil War trailer that has been dropped yesterday in the morning at 9 o'clock. Which I actually bought my tickets right before I even watched the trailer, but I was like, I'm gonna pay for the tickets anyway, right before I watch it though, because I know I'm really surprised to see that we finally get to see Spider-Man in this trailer. But I want to start off with what I have on the screen right now is that we see the webbing on the shield where it's like right before Spider-Man actually really comes in, like full body. We just see his web, and which we know that is actually from a web shooter that hopefully Tony or Peter somehow manufactured. But we first see Steven Rogers looking up like, "Oh, what the fuck is going on here?" Because I just love that expression from Chris Evans, because Chris Evans, he's a good actor, but just in seeing he was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" Like what the hell's doing this? And all of a sudden it's Spider-Man. But I really like how they did the webbing, and the webbing actually looks like really real, like looks definitely real. And it actually is almost like reminiscent to the first Spider-Man movies, because it's almost like that, but it looks more realistic. Like from the first Spider-Man movies, they looked pretty practical, but they looked really rubbery. And that really threw me off from the first time I actually seen the webbing from the first Spider-Man movies. So I wanted to put my detail on that. So I really like how it all looks, because it looks really awesome. And I think this is like one of the best parts of the trailer is where Spider-Man takes a shield off Captain America. Like, no one takes Captain America's shield, boy. But I'm really happy that we get to see that part, because it's almost like when you first see, it's like in Age of Ultron when Vision was born, and when Thor actually pretty much helped make the Vision. But when the Vision declares that he's not like Ultron, that he's the solution of peace, but that he's no monster, and and it's like the screen, and when Vision like tells everybody that they can trust him, because they can trust him because he actually he picked up Thor's hammer, and just like it's like the screen just like pause for 2 seconds so we all can like sink in like what the hell just happened. Vision just picked up Thor's hammer. This is like that. So this is like that in this trailer, that we like, what the hell? Spider just took Cap's shield like a boss, He just like grabbed it by web and webbed up Cap's hands so he wouldn't set free. Like, I wonder if Cap can actually get out of that in the movie. Let's hope for that. So let's get to the next picture. We actually finally get to see Spider-Man's full body, and as you can tell, that Cap's shield is about to exit his arm, because Spider-Man whipped it up, and Spider-Man actually lifts it up, detailed. But we actually get to see like Spider-Man come in, and I was wondering, where did he come from? Like, was he because right before this came in. It was actually like a little tease, like that, hey, Spider-Man's in this also, but I just really like how Robert Downey Jr. said on the ruse, because he actually said, right before that he said, okay, I'm running out of patience, and kind of like it actually that's what I was thinking. Like right before this even came out, and this trailer came out, and I was like, man, I'm running out of patience here. I want Spider-Man right now. And then all of a sudden, this trailer comes in, and then Robert Downey Jr. actually says what I said, and it was like, all right, I'm running out of patience. On the ruse, he cues Spider-Man to come in, because Team Iron Man is actually short a person, because there is 5 against 6. Like, who's the 6th person? It's Spider-Man. Spider-Man is part of Iron Man team, which is this confirms that Spider-Man is part of the Iron Man team, which I really like. And but I want to put my eye on the web shooters, because as you can tell, in the comics, Spider-Man's web shooters are actually underneath the sleeves. And I always like that, but it always looks like it's just a nude guy under a unitard, you know, and everybody's looking at his junk, you know, because his junk is exposed, and because everybody can see it. Everybody can see your heart on, dude. Put something over it. Put on some underwear under there. But kind of like how Electro finally got those shorts, because we don't want to see Electro naked. Well, Electro is naked in the comics, but we don't see his junk, which is kind of weird. Maybe he becomes a lesbian? I don't know. Okay, don't find that offensive. I'm just joking. But so we get to see the web shooters. Like, okay, at least they're not going the organic way, like how the Sam Raimi films did, where Spider-Man he just he makes. And his body makes webs, which I think is just disgusting. Like, what if he ends up having sex with Mary Jane and he shoots webs in her you know what? And what if he farts some webs out of his butt, you know? But oh god, now I have to say butt again. So at least we actually find out that he's actually going to be using web shooters. So, which I actually dig that, because I grew up as a huge Spider-Man fan. So, and I always loved the web shooters. So yeah, that's confirmed that the web shooters is going to be used. And then to this next picture, he's still in midair. He has Captain America's shield, but in the back, you guys probably can't tell, but it's kind of blurry but it's been confirmed, because there was an article that Heroic Hollywood has a rumor that said that the back spider on Spider-Man's on the costume, in the back of the costume, is the traditional blocky fat spider on the back, and the red one, and this pretty much confirms it. Like, as you can tell, it's bulky. It's blocky, and it's the perfect back. I mean, I like the other logos that we've seen from the other Spider-Man movies, from Sam Raimi to Mark Webb. I wasn't really too keen on the back insignia spider, because it wasn't the spider that I grew up seeing. I grew up reading comics, and I always... Excuse me. Sorry about that, everyone. My dad just called me, and just right when I was about to talk about the spider, he just ends up calling, and I had to take it. It had to be something important, and so. But back to what I was saying. This wasn't the spider that I grew up seeing in the comics, and from the Spider-Man movies, from Raimi to the Mark Webb films. That wasn't the spider that I grew up with. I grew up with the bulgy one from the comics, and from the Steve Ditko and John Romita Sr. Era. That's what I grew up with, and even though I wasn't born around that time, I grew up reading the old comics from the Amazing Spider-Man to the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, and I always that was my comic. I mean, I always loved that, and so that's I really like how they made it look classic. That's the classic back insignia spider. So, and then let's get to the when Spider-Man lands onto the car in Germany, whatever it is. It's a German car, I believe. Where we see him, he lands, superhero landing, woo, superhero landing, the Deadpool thing. But I had to do that. But so yeah, we see his full costume, which I really like the full costume, like how it looks. And people are saying that people are being nitpicky about the eyes and the spider emblem on the chest. I thought it looks all right. I mean, I'm used to seeing the bigger spider on the chest because it looks a lot cooler that way. But I understand that they want to go a different way, in a more classic way, which I totally understand that. So I'm glad about their decision on the costume, even though a lot of people are saying, oh, this is too CGI. It looks like he's from a video game, and I was like, no, it looks practical. It looks practical to me. And so I really like the eyes. The eyes look. This is right before they switch down to little, and then the little pupils. This looks, because the eyes, they look John Romita, John Romita eyes, and from the mask looks perfect. I love the mask, and I see some blackness around the arm and the forearm, and you can see the web shooter also. It's more red than blue, which I like. I mean, I always like the red on Spider-Man, but the blue really goes along with it, and the black part on the boot, and so I really like that. I really like that a lot, and the webbing. We'll get to that later. I really like how they made the blue a little bit darker, and they made it look like it's almost like a mixture of the Ross, Romita, and Ditko versions of the costume, and it looks so perfect. It's like straight out of the comic, pretty much like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 costume. It looks like it's out of the Ultimate Comics, and because the bigger eyes and the bigger spider emblem, I really like that. So because it looked like the Tom McFarlane one. It looked like the Tom McFarlane comic costume. So I really like that. But this looks like it's out of it's like a mixture of the Ultimate, the Bendis, Brian Michael Bendis costume mixed with the new Alex Ross costume, and the old Romita and Ditko, and I really like that mixture. It really makes it pop. But we'll get to the webbing, to the webbing on the costume later. But and to the next picture, and this is the last one, is more of a close up on Spider-Man, and as you can tell, the white part of the eyes shrank. It shrank down, and that's Steve Ditko right there. That's the Steve Ditko eyes that I grew up with also. And I really like that they shrank, and it's almost like what they're doing with Deadpool in the movies, and that they're animating the eyes, and so we can know that he's angry, that he's sad, or that he's happy, and so that's what I liked, because we had that back in the 60s and the 70s where Spider-Man's eyes were expressionable. And I really like that. It's because when he's scared or when he's shocked, his eyes are actually bigger. But when he's shrinking, he's like, what did you say? What the fuck you say? And so that I really liked. I really liked that. And I heard a whirring sound, or kind of it's almost like mechanized. And so either way, it seems that Tony Stark did a little. That Tony Stark has some involvement on the suit, and I really like that, because obviously Spider-Man's on Iron Man's team, and you actually see closer that you actually see a belt. You see a belt that we normally see on Spider-Man's costume, it has a red belt on it, and right under that belt happens to be a cartridge belt, where Spider-Man stores all his webbing, or web cartridges. So when he runs out, he can just put another one and grab two more and put them in in his web shooters, and so he can swing around the city in New York. And so it's like they're exposing the cartridges and the web shooters, and because it looks like they're a lot bigger, almost like it's almost like the Ben Reilly costume, because Ben Reilly has the web shooters out, he has the belt out, and I mean that's pretty cool. I always like that in Ben Reilly costume, but we're talking about Spider-Man here, not Ben Reilly. But I dig the belt. I dig the belt so much. And the same thing with the chest spider. It looks quite small, but I understand that they wanted, because it was quite small in the it was I can't remember, in the 1970s, 1960s. It was a 1960s cartoon, Spider-Man cartoon, where they did the theme song is like Spider-Man, Spider-Man, all that. It didn't show like the whole webbing on the chest, but the spider was actually quite small, and so they're quite so they're paying a little homage to the 1966 Spider-Man. 1966 Spider-Man costume in the cartoon, which I love that cartoon. So I really like that they're playing. It's like they're playing homage to Ditko, John Romita Sr. and Alex Ross, which Alex Ross is actually pretty much new right now, but also paying homage to the 1966 cartoon, so which I like, and the Steve Ditko eyes, which I love. But I want to get to the webbing part. The webbing is not raised webbing, it's not puff paint, which I love, because that part of the costume from the Sam Raimi films with the what I just said it. Oh man. Raised webbing, the raised silver webbing. That threw me off. It was like, it was too reflective. It was too out there, and but I understand, like back in, because it was the camera, the camera would like the cameras back in the 2000s. It was they couldn't make out the webbing on the costume, so they had to raise the webbing, and make it silver, so it can look more reflective to the camera. And I understand that. I really like that costume though, but the only flaw was the raised webbing, which I wasn't really a huge fan of. And with the Amazing Spider-Man costumes, in the first one where they just same thing, they kind of raised the webbing a little bit, and it looked like a basketball to me, and I was like, no, that's not. I didn't like that, But in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, the webbing was a little bit more, almost kind of like flattened a little bit, but it's still raised. And I didn't mind I actually love the Amazing Spider-Man 2 costume. I have the movie replica. Well, not the replica, but I have the cosplay Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 costume, which I have, and I love it. But so yeah, that's so I really like the webbing. It looks like it's printed. It looks like it's drew on. I love that. I mean, that's the webbing I really like. And it's not raised. It's not puff paint. It's not like that. It's just it looks simple. It looks like how a kid would do it. Like you just draw on the webbing, or screen screen it onto the fabric. And as you can tell, it looks all fabricated. It looks fabricated, and a lot of people have been saying it looks too CGI, it looks too cartoonish. And I was like, no, this is the throwback costume, kind of like what Tyrone Magnus said on one of his videos, that people are, you know, people are complaining that no, this is not the Spider-Man. I mean, like, to the people who have never read a Spider-Man comic before, this is the original Spider-Man. I mean, even though this is a mixture of different costumes that we've seen in the comics in like for a long time, this is a homage to all the different comics that we've seen. I mean, the Todd McFarlane way that we saw in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, which, and also it was almost like a mixture of the Ultimate comic also, but this is almost like a mixture of Alex Ross, John Romita Sr., Ditko. I already said this before, but I'll say it again. It's a mixture of those three, and I really like that. So guys, judge all you want, but just I'm not trying to be like a hater to everybody else and they're saying, you know, like trying to make myself sound like an asshole, but I'm just saying that I love the costume. I really like how they really put all the details on it, and the highlight for me was when the eye shrank, and I was like, whoa. So it was like the white part was like Romita size, and then it shrank down to Ditko size. So I really like that. So yeah, if you guys like this video, go ahead and like this video. And if you guys want to see more of me doing reaction videos and also videos like this, go ahead and subscribe and join me on my 1,000 subscriber journey. Until next time, bye-bye.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man. Is he strong? Listen, bud, he's got radioactive blood. Can he swing from a thread? Take a look overhead. Hey there goes the Spider-Man. In the chill of night, at the scene of a crime, like a streak of light, he arrives just in time. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Wealth and fame, he's ignored. Action is his reward. To him, life is a great big bang. Wherever there's a hang, you'll find a Spider-Man.